Hello there, welcome to today's lesson. So today we shall be learning about ecosystem. Our topic for today is ecosystem. So let's take a look at the concept of ecosystem. So we all live in a community, and a community is a place where different people, plants, and animals live and interact with each other. We interact with the people in our community by talking, playing, and working together. We depend on one another in our community. We also depend on the plants and animals in our community for food. We define an ecosystem as a community of living things and non-living things interacting with their environment. So that is for ecosystem. As a community, ecosystem is a community of living things and non-living things interacting with their environment. So that is what ecosystem means, or that is what is ecosystem. So in this lesson, we shall learn about the concept of ecosystem. The concept of an ecosystem is how living things depend and interact with each other. In our homes, we depend on our parents for food, clothes, and school fees. We have a whole lot of things that we depend on our parents for. Our parents also depend on us to help them with their household chores. At school, we depend and interact with one another. We depend on our teachers to teach us. During break, we play games with our friends. Doing all these things help us to build a strong or a stronger relationship and even live together as one. We also depend on plants and animals for food. Just as living things depend on one another, they also depend on the non-living things in the ecosystem. The non-living things found in the ecosystem are also referred to as non-living parts of the ecosystem. Some examples of the non-living parts of the ecosystem are soil, rain, sunlight, and a suitable temperature. All these things help living things to interact better in the environment. For example, without the sun, plants and animals will not get energy to grow well. Without rainfall, plants will not grow well and animals will not also get water to drink. So you realize that there is some sort of interdependency between one another. So let's take a look at a habitat. So within an ecosystem, all living things have a place or home they live. For example, as students, we all have places we live. The school is not our permanent home or our living place. We only go there to learn, after which we go back to our various homes. A place where living organisms live within an ecosystem is called a habitat. So that is what a habitat is. A place where living organisms live within an ecosystem. That is what is termed as a habitat. So a habitat can also be defined as the natural home for living organisms. The habitat for tilapia fish is fresh water or the water bodies. You realize that these fishes need water bodies in order to survive. So that is their home. But you and I, we have homes. So our parents maybe put up buildings for us whereby we can lay our heads. So that is our habitat or that is our home. The habitat for a shark is the sea, and the habitat for a bird is the tree. So you realize that you find these birds perching on trees. So that is where they stay, or that is their home. Where do you think is the habitat for a lion, a crocodile, a snake, and a frog? Where do you think is the habitat for a lion, a crocodile, a snake, and a frog? Good. So when you visit your school garden or farm, you will see plants, insects, birds, rats, and many other things there. That is their habitat. So the plants and the insects that you might find in your garden or your school garden, they also have that place as their habitat, or that is their home as well. So all the organisms found in the garden interact and depend on each other. Plants depend on non-living part of the farm, which is the soil, in order to grow. Plants cannot survive without growing in the soil. I don't think you agree with me, or you wouldn't agree with me less on this one, that plants will survive without any soil. Good, because that is where they get their nutrients and other things that they need in order to survive uh, from. So they get all these nutrients and other things needed by the plants to survive from the soil. So without the soil, I don't think the plants will survive. So plants also depend on sunlight and water to grow. Insects eat plants to survive. Birds eat insects, worms, and plants to survive. These show that living things depend and interact with non-living things for their survival. Can you mention some living things and non-living things you can find in a pond? So what are some of the living things and non-living things that you can find in a pond? So we can find things like water, frogs, pond, weeds, stones, and then fishes in a pond. All the things found in the pond are all important because they all depend and interact with each other. There is interdependency amongst all living things in an ecosystem. So when a member of an ecosystem is removed, it brings about an imbalance in the ecosystem. When the water in a fish pond dries up, the fishes and other living organisms that live in the pond will not survive. Eventually, they will die. When there is a fire in a forest or in a bush, the trees and the plants in the forest will get burnt. Animals that live in the forest will also lose their habitat, and some might even lose their lives as well. Plants and animals depend on the rain and the sun for survival. If there is no rainfall and sunshine, plants and animals will not grow well. These show that all the members of an ecosystem are important. If a member of an ecosystem is removed, it will affect the survival of other members. There are certain human activities that destroy various ecosystems. These activities cause an imbalance in the ecosystem. So now let us look at some of these human activities that cause imbalance in the ecosystem. So the following are some activities that cause an imbalance in the ecosystem. So one, we have a galamsey, or what we normally call illegal mining. That is one of the activities that cause imbalance in the ecosystem. Galamsey, which is also known as illegal mining. So galamsey is a local word that is used to describe illegal mining in Ghana. Illegal miners use wrong means to search for gold and other minerals on the land and in water bodies. So they use any means or any other way that they have to use to get the gold and other minerals that is found in the land. And then these water bodies that are around us, they have to mine and get their minerals such as the gold, diamond, and the rest. So mining in water bodies makes the water dirty, which kills the fishes and other living organisms that live in the water. Mining on lands destroy the habitat of animals that live in the soil. People who engage in galamsey cause imbalance in the ecosystem. Also, we have deforestation, which is the felling of trees or cutting down trees without planting them or planting new ones to replace the ones that have been what? Cut down. So people often cut down trees in our forests for firewood, charcoal, and for making furniture. So when trees are cut down without planting other ones or new ones to replace them, the forest gets destroyed. Trees are very important to all living things. Cutting trees down destroys the land and the habitat of some living organisms such as the birds, and thereby causing an imbalance in the ecosystem. So you can see for yourself in the picture or the image over there that the land is really bare, and then all the trees have been cut, leaving the land bare, which is one of the activities or human activities that cause an imbalance in the ecosystem. So let's look at another factor that causes imbalance in the ecosystem. So we have dumping of waste materials into water bodies. This destroys the water bodies or the home of some aquatic animals such as fishes, turtles, octopus, and so on. Also, clearing of lands for farming purposes is one of the human activities that also cause an imbalance in the ecosystem. Also, construction of dams and then irrigations also cause an imbalance in the ecosystem. Also, we can identify another one here. We have the use of toxins or poisonous chemicals in fishing. So you realize that some people use these chemicals such as DDT in fishing, which is very, very wrong, and it destroys this aquatic life or animals that are found in these water bodies. You end up destroying them or killing them, which is also very, very bad, and then as such it causes an imbalance in the ecosystem. So these are some of the things or some of the activities or the human activities that cause an imbalance in the ecosystem. We talked about illegal mining, which is mostly known in Ghana as galamsey, and then we talked about deforestation, cutting down trees without planting new ones to replace them. We talked about dumping of waste materials into these water bodies, also clearing farmlands for farming purposes, and then we talked about construction of dams and then irrigations. We also identified the use of poisonous chemicals in fishing for aquatic animals. All right, so this brings us to the end of today's lesson. uh, Hopefully we shall meet again, but for now it's bye bye.